I wanted to talk to you about statistics because I think statistics can really, really improve your game, and knowing what departments of the game you need to work on can be huge. It's almost like anything you do in life. If you can pinpoint the, the areas that need work, that can really make a huge difference. And I think the problem with statistics is it's great for the good players, it's great for the pros, it's easy for them, but it's a bit harder for the average golfer to really know how to take statistics and what they need to do and what, how it applies to the average golfer, I think, is the difficulty. So I'm going to try and simplify the whole process down for you because it's simple for the good players. If your handicap is 0 to 10, then you only need to worry about how many times you hit the fairway, how many times you hit the green in regulation, how many up and downs you have, and how many putts you have. So the fairways and the putts are easy for everybody. How many times you hit the fairway is straightforward and how many putts you have is straightforward. But it's the bit in the middle that is much more difficult for the average golfer because you have a handicap. So what is greens in regulation for a pro is not the same for you, and an up and down, which you may not even know what that is different for you as well. An up and down is one chip and one putt, or one bunker shot and one putt, or one pitch and one putt. So an up onto the green and a down into the hole is essentially what that is. So fairways, obviously, how many times you hit the fairway, you should have a number out of 14 because most courses will have 4 par 3s, which we don't really consider fairways because you'd be trying to get on the green in one for that. So you've got your fairways to consider a number out of 14. You've got your greens in regulation. So greens in regulation is a little bit more complicated because basically, for a pro, they'll take 2 putts off every hole, and then what's left is the greens in regulation. So on a par 3, on for 1 is in regulation, 2 putts. Par 4 on for 2, 2 putts. So that's your greens in regulations is 2, and on a par 5, it's greens in regulation is 3. So pretty easy. But if you've got a handicap of higher than a single figure, then let's say you're off 18, then you need to add 1 on to that. So for, let's say, with a par 4, then your green in regulation won't be 2, it'll be 3. So if you get 1 shot on any hole, then your green in regulation goes up by 1. So you should be expecting to get on in 3. If you've got 2 shots per hole, or on that particular par 4, then you should be expecting to get on in 4. And if you've got 3 shots on a hole, you should be expecting to get on the green on a par 4 in, what did I just say? 5, on 5, yes. And then you've got your 2 putts. We always allocate 2 putts. So that is is for you and for your handicap. You can get a scorecard out and you can make some notes on it so you know, or you can do it at the end of the round, which is probably the easiest way to do it. And so then what you'll do is you'll have a number out of 18, because there's 18 holes, how many times you've hit the green in regulation for you. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll do some notes on this in the printable cheat sheet section so you can go back and have another look, because it can be a little bit complicated. So now you know how to do a green in regulation. So you're on the fairway, you've got a fairway number out of 14, then you have a green in regulation number out of 18, then you have an up and down number. So we'll go back to our par 4. Let's say you've got 1 shot and you're supposed to get on in 3. Let's say you don't get on the green in 3. Let's say you're around the edge of the green and you're chipping or you're pitching or you're in the bunker. So then from there forward, you can work out how many up and downs you have. And this time you'll have a number out of how many attempts you've made. So let's say there was 5 times that you didn't get onto the green in your regulation, then you will have a number out of 5 for your up and downs. So you might have 2 out of 5, you might have 1 out of 5. Like, to start off with, an up and down is quite a difficult thing to do. It's quite a high level. If you're off a high handicap, you won't be getting up and down very often. You'll be getting on the green with your chip and probably 2 putting, or potentially maybe even 3 putting, depending where your handicap is. So you might not have a very high number out of attempts for your up and downs to start off with. It might be 1 out of 6. But then the good thing is you can see that changing and you can see that improving. So that's the beauty of your statistics. You can, see, if you keep your statistics over a period of time, you can see yourself improving and where you're improving and where you need to work. And then, of course, you've got your putts. So putting, obviously simple stuff, you're just adding up. Ideally, it's 2 putts per hole, but that differs depending on your handicap. Obviously, the lower handicaps will have less putts. So I'll put in the printable cheat section a little chart. You can look at your handicap and you can see what number of putts you should be having per hole. Because, as I said before, statistics don't really mean much if you don't know, okay, so I had 36 putts. Is that good? Is that not so good? So I'll put a little a little cheat sheet in there for you to have a look at. And also even just knowing that you've got a number and then the next week you improved on it, or you didn't do so well, or whatever it is. So just having these statistics can really, really help your game. Okay, so you've got your 4 departments: fairways, greens and regulation, which you now know how to do for your handicap, up and downs, which you know what that is as well, because obviously chipping and putting short game is huge for your score, and putts. And your chipping and putting will affect your putts, and your putts will affect your chipping and putting, if you know what I mean, statistics-wise. Because if you're chipping poorly, you're going to have more putts. So you might look at your putts and say, oh, I'm a really lousy putter, but actually it was the fact that you didn't get on close enough to the green. So that's the sort of thing that statistics can really help you with, and really breaking up your game into departments can really help you know where to improve. All right, so I hope that's been helpful to you. As I said, look up the printable cheat sheet section for some notes on this so that you can refer back. All right, well, hopefully that'll help your scoring, and we'll see you next week. See you.